everyone! Today I'm doing a book review, and this past week I read The Trials of Apollo. The first book is called The Hidden Oracle. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about my past with Rick Riordan books, with Percy Jackson books. I have enjoyed his books, but I haven't been in love with them like a lot of people have. Of course, I started out with the Percy Jackson and the Olympian books. It's all about Percy Jackson and gods and demigods, and it's a fun story, but I have not been in love with it like everybody else has. I don't know if it's because I saw the movie first, so I didn't have that connection, that deep connection with the books like I might have had if I hadn't seen the movie first, because I actually enjoyed the movie more than I enjoyed the book. So I don't know what that means really. And then moving on to the Heroes of Olympus, the spin-off series of Percy Jackson and the Olympians when they're older. I didn't enjoy that series as much as I did Percy Jackson and the Olympians. When I heard that Rick Riordan had a book coming out about the god Apollo, I actually got really excited about it because in the Heroes of Olympus series, we meet Apollo, the god of archery, of music, of art, of just pretty much everything. And I really enjoyed his character in that series. So when I heard that the god Apollo was being punished by Zeus because he caused some dramatic thing to happen in the last series, and he was being thrown to earth as a mere mortal with no powers, no nothing, I was really excited to read about it because I really enjoyed his character. He was really funny in the Heroes of Olympus, so I was hoping that he'd be the same in this series, and boy, oh boy, was I right. I have never laughed so much reading a book. Like, people say that Percy Jackson was funny. No. Apollo is funny. He's hilarious. He's full of himself. He knows that he's a good-looking god, and when he lands on Earth, he's not this super hot god anymore. He's a teenager with acne and flab, and he doesn't like it. He's telling everybody how he looks so good, and yet he's like this regular old teenager with acne and flab, like we've all had. So if you're like me and you didn't really enjoy Percy Jackson or the Heroes of Olympus that much, like, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I just didn't fall in love with it like everybody else. So yeah, if you're like me and you felt that way about those books and you kind of want to give this book a shot, give it a shot. I adored it. It was hilarious. It was action-packed. I just loved everything about it. I kept laughing all the time. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I can't wait for the next one. I don't know what it's gonna be called. Is it gonna be like a trilogy or 5 books? I mean, all of his series have been in 5 books so far, except for the Egyptian trilogy. We have really cool characters in this series. We even see Percy Jackson a little bit, so that's pretty cool. So if you're a really big fan of Percy Jackson, he's in this book, people. We even see other characters from the other series of Percy Jackson, so it's not like completely new characters. We have old friends that we see again in this series, and it's just really fun, really nice. So you're familiar, but it's new at the same time, so it's just a really fun story. So if you want something fun, funny, and action-packed, I would definitely give this book a shot. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. So now that I've given my general thoughts about the book, I'm gonna go into a little bit of a spoilery discussion. Actually, it's kind of really spoilerish, so if you don't want to know anything else about the book, I would leave now, go read it, enjoy it, and then come back and watch my video again so you can enjoy all my thoughts and feelings about this book, because holy crap, so much happened. So bye-bye non-spoilery people, and for us who have read the book, stay and let's discuss it together. The second that the book starts off, it's hilarious. Apollo lands in a big garbage can. It's kind of an indication of how his life's gonna be on Earth, being immortal. It's gonna be crap. It's gonna be garbage. It's not gonna be fun. Our other main character of this story is called Meg, and I don't know if we figure out what her last name was. Did we? I can't remember. So Meg is pretty badass for a 12-year-old. She kicks everybody's ass. She knows what she likes, and she's headstrong, very independent. She practically lives off the street. And she's a demigod. She's the daughter of Demeter, who is the goddess of earth grains. So she can like grow flowers, pop out a little demon baby from the ground that eats peaches, and it's called Peaches. That's the Groot part. It says what it's called. I am Groot, I am Peaches. So in the beginning of the book, when Demeter claimed Meg, they had mentioned something about Meg also maybe belonging to Camp Jupiter because she could do something Roman-y. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was some Roman connection that she could belong to Camp Jupiter as well, but she got claimed in Camp Half-Blood by Demeter. And now I understand why she could belong to Camp Jupiter, because her stepdad, Nero, is a Roman emperor. So it makes so much sense now. Oh, thank God I did this review, because I'm figuring out stuff as I go along. So the big conundrum of this book is that people are disappearing from Camp Half-Blood. They're hearing stuff in the forest and are drawn to it and are just being swept away in the forest and never returning to Camp Half-Blood. Also, the Oracle has gone. It's gone. The Oracle of Delphi has gone missing, and nobody knows where they are, and nobody can get any prophecies anymore, and it's horrible. The world can't continue without any prophecies. That's how the world goes with these folks. So the Roman emperors, there are 3 of them who have become gods somehow. They've sprung magic and they've turned themselves into mortal gods, immortal gods, and are the ones behind all the wars that we've been through in the past 2 series with Percy Jackson. The one with the Olympians and the one with Gaia, still don't know how to pronounce that name. They're the ones who have been behind everything. They've been planning for centuries to take over everything and rule the world under their way that they want to do it. I've realized in this book that it's never an easy task getting to Camp Half-Blood for the first time. Percy Jackson had a hard time with the Minotaur. I mean, they're getting chased by silver floating blobs. Can it for just once be easy to get to Camp Half-Blood? Like, why does it have to be so hard all the time? We met Apollo's kids in this book. They're at Camp Half-Blood, cabin number 7, and they're all healers, like they heal people. Will is like the doctor of Camp Half-Blood, and it's funny because they're all the same age. Some are even younger, or I mean older than him. In his immortal form, he's 16 and like Will's 17 or 18, something like that. And they're like, Dad, Apollo, Lester. Let's talk about his name for a second. Lester Papadopoulos. Greek name, obviously, but Lester, not the best name ever. This time they need Percy to get to Camp Half-Blood. So we meet Percy like right at the beginning, which I was really happy to see him. Like, we know Percy, but I wasn't like really excited like Christine's probably gonna be when she reads this book. She's gonna freak out because she thought we weren't gonna see Percy ever again, because, you know, it ended pretty badly in the Heroes of Olympus series. We even see Nico. He's still at Camp Half-Blood and he's with Apollo's son, Will. They're together, and I love how Apollo is so cool about it. He's like, yeah, I've dated guys too. Like, no big deal. We date everything. Trees, animals, we're up for anything. What was fun about this book was that we had a map. I don't think we've ever had a map before, and it's just really nice that you get to see like where everything is placed and where everybody is, and especially for like this section right here where they go with the ants and the grove of Dodona. Rhea, which I'm pretty sure is Apollo's mom, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me know if I'm wrong. But we get to meet her, and she's a hippie. Meg and Apollo have to go in the woods past the big ants to find the grove of Dodona. So once they've beaten everything, past the ants, past all the trouble, they go and they climb the ants to get themselves out of there, because the ants can fly and they're gonna save the day and whatnot. But the way that they get on the ants, Apollo says, despite what the demigods may tell you, I did not flail, scream, or land in a way that damaged my sensitive parts. I burst out laughing at that part. I just love Apollo so much. He's hilarious. Like, can we have like so many more books with Apollo? I hope that the next ones are just as funny, because I crack myself up reading this book. It's so funny. I love it so much. Let's just talk about Meg for a little bit. That little conniving bitch. I can't believe she's behind everything. She has been a spy for the Triumvirate thing. I can't ever pronounce that word, but the Emperor, she's with them. It's her stepdad. I was, oh my God. I couldn't believe that Meg betrayed Apollo. She became his friend for days. It felt like weeks, but maybe it was just days. That's what he said. But I can't believe that she's behind everything. I didn't see it coming. I felt at the beginning like she couldn't be trusted, but then it was like, maybe she can be trusted. Oh man, I was so heartbroken. I couldn't believe that Meg is with them. She's with the Greek emperors, the Roman emperors, and she's gonna betray Apollo, and she doesn't turn back to the good side. She keeps going with them. It's just like, Meg, what are you doing? I was so upset. Like, it was the plan all along to go meet Apollo in the alley with the dumpster and probably beat those guys so that she could gain his friendship, his trust, and just betray him at the end. It's horrible. When Apollo and Meg get to the grove and you see everybody all like attached to trees, and it's horrible. Like, everybody is like dying and Nero is gonna burn them all, which Meg doesn't believe he's gonna burn them. He's the beast, but he hasn't unleashed the beast yet, so everybody's still safe, and he's not gonna unleash it because he promised he wouldn't unleash it. Like, Meg, are you that stupid? Are you that, like, are you blind, girl? He's evil, he's the beast. He hasn't unleashed the beast yet, but he will, and it's gonna be ugly. So at the end, there's this big fight with the big Apollo Greek statue of Nero, but it looks like Apollo, the sun god, and everything is going really bad. Like, it doesn't look good for anybody. Everybody's gonna die. Camp Half-Blood is gonna get destroyed, and it's gonna be the front lawn for Nero for his new house. And then all of a sudden, we have Percy Jackson coming out of the beyond with Mrs. O'Leary and saving the day, of course. I mean, he didn't really save the day, but he gave them a lot of help. It's really Apollo's arrow, his poison diseased arrow, that saved the day. I love that he had it and he was like handing it over to people. I think Will was holding it, or somebody was holding it, and then they just got knocked out because he was holding the arrow and it like poisoned him, and he didn't die, but he just got knocked out. So Apollo had to shoot the arrow at the big statue, and he wanted to aim it in his ear so it could, like, I don't know, destroy the inside of his head. And it was an arrow drenched in hay fever poison, or hay fever magic, whatever you want to call it, and it gave the statue hay fever, and it sneezed its head off. Literally, the head flew off, his head flew off in the distance, and the statue was destroyed, and it was wonderful. So I haven't read The Blood of Olympus. I don't feel like I'm ever gonna read it. I wasn't planning on ever reading it. I didn't really enjoy that series, so I don't feel the urge at all to read it, but I did watch reviews about it, so I kind of know what happened at the end. And I know that Leo has gone missing. He died, but he didn't really die. It's like a really confusing thing, and they were talking about him in this book, and I was like, okay, we're definitely gonna get Leo back sometime. Maybe not in this book, but definitely like in the future we're gonna see Leo back. He's gonna be alive in full force and everything. And of course, we see him at the end, and everybody's like pissed off at him that he's back and that they had no communications, but like all of the communications were down. The Iris messages weren't working, no prophecies, no nothing. Like, cell phones weren't working, which they don't really work with demigods anyways. It's kind of a whack thing. But everybody is in line, and they're giving him one big punch on his arm, and everybody's like, yeah, thanks for being back. You deserve this punch for not telling us where you've been for the last, I don't know, 6 months. So in the next book, we have to find the second emperor, and they have a feeling, they think that they divided the USA up in 3 sections. So like Nero would have like one part of the US, then the second one would have the middle part of the US, and then the third one would have the third part of the US. So there must be only 3 books to the series. So in the next one, they're gonna go somewhere in the middle part of the US. I hope that the second book is just as funny as this one was. I loved Apollo so much in it, and I can't wait to see what happens. So let me know what you guys thought of the book if you've read it. I mean, if you've gotten this far and you haven't read the book, girl or boy, you got spoiled. So let me know what you thought of it down below in the description box. Did you laugh as much as I did? Because I feel like I laughed a lot. Like almost every chapter I was laughing my head off. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about it, and I will see you guys very soon with my next video. Goodbye!